Two of my favorite things in my everyday life are makeup and coffee. I have been seeing so many reviews on TikTok and on Instagram, Facebook Reels about Javvy coffee. I don't know about you, but when I see so many positive reviews, I get a little suspect. So when Javvy reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try their protein coffee, I said yes, of course. I follow a high protein diet. I love coffee. I would love to try your product. Thank you. So today I'm going to do this coffee-inspired makeup look while I give you an honest, completely honest review of my experience with Javvy coffee and ask the question, is it worth the price tag? We're going to get a little scientific. We're going to talk about ingredients. We're going to talk about nutritional information. And then finally, we're going to talk about the taste. So if you love coffee as much as I do, and you also love makeup, then stick around. Hi, I'm Andi. Welcome or welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here. We're going to go ahead and get started with the makeup and what I think of Javvy. I have my eyes primed with the Morphe Solo Artist Priming Cream Shadow. Love, love. And we're going to get a little bit scientific. I follow a high protein, high fat, very low carb way of eating. I try to eat as cleanly as I possibly can. So when I am buying something from the grocery store, or in this case, someone sends me something for review, ingredients matter. I always look at the ingredients. Just because they say it's high protein does not mean it's healthy. Luckily, Javvy did pass my test when it comes to ingredients. One of its claims are it's sugar-free. It is 100% sugar-free, and the sweeteners that they use are very clean sweeteners. One of the sweeteners that they use is a natural prebiotic sweetener. It is sucra. It is a natural sweetener without the GI distress or spike in blood sugar levels that you get with artificial sweeteners, such as maltodextrin or maltitol. Both of those sweeteners cause a glycemic response in your body. Therefore, it is really no better for you than sugar. So whenever something says sugar-free, I'm always suspect, and I always want to know what sweetener are they using. So the fact that it doesn't cause a glycemic response and it's good for your digestive health. Some sweeteners, even natural sweeteners such as erythritol and monk fruit sweetener, can cause some tummy troubles, and I'm not here for that. Also, the maltitol and the maltodextrin both cause me some intestinal distress, shall we say. So the fact that Javvy uses the sucra, that passes the test for me. Another sweetener that Javvy uses is Ono Sweet. It also has a zero glycemic response. It has no aftertaste. So that is one of the reasons that it's superior to stevia. Stevia does have a bitter aftertaste. I don't mind stevia personally, but if you use a lot of it, it will get very bitter. Another ingredient in the Javvy Proffee is whey protein concentrate. That is where you're getting your protein. Javvy is made with 100% Arabica beans. And if you've never been here before, I'll clean this up. Just so you know, I'll clean it up. Now, the one ingredient that does not pass my test is where it says natural flavors. Natural flavors could be anything. The fact that it's not specific on what those flavors are gives me a little bit of pause. And like I said, I like as clean of ingredients as I can get. They do claim that they are non-GMO, so that is also a plus. I just wish I knew what the natural flavors were. So overall, Javvy does pass my tests with ingredients. So as for my way of eating, which I said was high protein, high fat, low carb, does the nutritional information pass my test? One serving is 1 scoop, and that is 10 grams of protein. They advertise that 2 scoops is even better because it gives you twice as much protein. Now, when you are making the Javvy coffee, you can use whatever milk you want. You can use oat milk, you can use almond milk, you can use cow's milk. I don't drink oat milk or almond milk, so I use vitamin D cow milk. However, I use Fairlife milk because it has less sugar, which means it has less carbs. But there are still 6 carbs in 8 ounces of the vitamin D milk. Just a little fact for you, the lower the fat of the milk, the higher the sugar. So if you get 2%, it has higher sugar than vitamin D. And if you get fat-free milk, it has even more sugar in it. So in the directions, you add 1 scoop for 10 grams of protein. Now you can also use 2 scoops if you want more protein. But there are 5 carbs per scoop. So if I were to use 2 scoops, that would give me 10 carbs, and that is 16 carbs per 8 ounces of coffee. You can also use your favorite creamer, which if you're not using a sugar-free creamer, adds even more carbs to your coffee. I don't use sugar-free creamers because they contain maltitol or maltodextrin, which, as I said earlier, is not a good sweetener. So if I were to just use 1 scoop, that would be 11 carbs. I eat less than 10 carbs a day. So I am not willing to spend 11 carbs on 1 8-ounce coffee. If you do not follow a low-carb diet, then this might be within your macros. It is not within mine. So I made Javvy 2 ways, and I also made my everyday cold brew that I use every day of the year. I don't care if it's winter or summer, I'm drinking cold brew. Now, my normal cold brew is extremely clean and it is 0 carbs. I use a coffee cold brew diffuser that I got for $20 on Amazon. Best $20 I ever spent. I make cold brew. I use my cold brew. I use caramel flavored electrolytes that are also very clean, and a dash of heavy whipping cream. That's it. No flavored creamers, anything like that. So my normal everyday cold brew is very, very clean. So with the options, like I said, you can use whatever milk you want. You could also mix it with water. So I did it with the vitamin D milk, and I did it with water. For the protein coffee, you can use a shaker cup or you can use a frother. I chose to use the frother. I use the frother every day to blend in my electrolytes in my cold brew. And I made sure that it was nice and blended. Once they were all nice and blended, it was time to taste. I got the caramel flavor because that's my favorite flavor when it comes to coffee. And the flavor was really good. It almost had like a brown sugary caramel flavor. It was very good. One of their claims is that there is no chalky texture. I have to disagree with that. The coffee that was made with the water was a very odd texture. I find this with a lot of protein powders, which is why I don't drink protein shakes. I find them to be chalky, and you can tell that it was made with a powder, no matter how well you blend it. I blended these very, very well. In my regular everyday cold brew, I don't get that at all. The electrolytes that I use mix in very well, and I don't even notice that it was made with a powder. I only made mine with 1 scoop of powder. I can't imagine what it would be like using the 2 scoops that they recommend for the 20 grams of protein. So here are the flavors: iced cinnamon roll, caramel original, mocha, French vanilla, coconut mocha, hazelnut, tiramisu, and cookie dough. So I guess it all comes down to, is it worth the $39.95 for 20 servings? And that is 20 servings if you're only using 1 scoop. If you're going for the 20 grams of protein and you're using 2 scoops, then that's only 10 servings. How much do you pay for your coffee every day? If you're one that goes out and gets a $7 caramel macchiato, then 10 servings, that's $70. This is just about half that. My coffee every day is less than $2. I do not go out to coffee shops and buy coffee, mostly because I don't know what's in them. And as we've already discussed, I pay attention what's in my food. If you are someone that is counting calories and you're not counting carbs, then this might be an option for you. It has clean ingredients. It has great flavor. It has probiotics for gut health. And you could do a lot worse. If you are someone that likes protein shakes and likes that texture, then you might like this. But with my daily diet and the things that are important to me, I would have to pass on it. If this is something that you want to try, I do have a link in the description box below along with a code that will save you 20% on your first order. So let me know down in the comments below, is this something that you would like to try? Also, tell me your favorite coffee flavor. And if you made it this far, leave a little coffee emoji in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.